Hi, my name is Dave Hatt, and I own the Wet Cleaner. I've got a partner in it, Cindy. She and I have owned it for about 13 years. And welcome to our new venture. This is the BackBone Small Business Podcast. She and I have been working on this podcast for a few months now, and the idea is it's a small business podcast, and it was going to be telling the story of small business owners in Canada and the United States, and why people do what they do. Why do we do what we do? Why do we put ourselves at risk? We've built a podcast network called the Tundran Podcast Network. I've even got a partner for that back in Toronto. He's a video editor. He's the head of our production arm of this venture. And the person you see on the screen right now is Vanessa Sullivan, and she owns a business locally here in Victoria, BC. And the idea was we were going to put together the backbone and tell the story in kind of a fun way and talk about the grit and the determination. And then, bam, we ran into COVID-19, and I felt compelled. So sort of the fire that was burning inside turned into a raging inferno to get our word and our experience out there. And so this is why I've asked Vanessa to be a part of our first podcast. I'll give a little bit of an intro, and then we can talk about what's going on. Vanessa owns a CrossFit affiliate, which is Taranis Athletics in Victoria, BC. Her team just qualified for the World Championship Games. Obviously, that's all going to change now with COVID-19, which sucks because all these athletes train their butts off to get there, to get into shape. The other thing that's very interesting is that she had partners and just bought out her partners. So she is flying solo, going through this COVID thing. And prior to anybody asking her, prior to being mandated, she closed her gym. So Vanessa, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
On that happy note, right? It's a crazy time for us all, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a strange time, and I think there's so much that goes on that's going on with it that we're all kind of standing here going, what is this? What is happening? Are we living is this some kind of Hollywood movie that we're all living through right now? It's bizarre.
It is weird, right? Because I'm in a unique position in our business. We're a non-toxic dry cleaner. We've got good contracts with local hotels. Now the hotels are tanking in terms of occupancy, but we do have, pardon me, some staff cleaning that I get to still do and provide service. But in your situation, you got to close the doors. So you've had to literally pivot and rethink your entire business model. And so the reason why we called this podcast the Backbone is, man, if you don't have a backbone now, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, you gotta have backbone to get through this. Excuse me. I mean, in to survive in small business, you do anyways, don't you? I think what happened. So we could see this building, right? I was listening to globally what was happening. And yeah, my business is based on people walking through the door every week, paying a membership, and coming in here for the excellence that we have to give and that we try to bring out in them. And when I could see what was happening globally, what was happening across the water, I thought, this is going to hit us. What can I do? What can I do? And I'm so lucky to have a brain that is wired like this. I have a moment where I go, holy shit, and I go into panic, and I'm a very passionate, emotional person, so all that comes up, and it's like a storm that hits, and then I settle, and I go, what can I do? I'm so lucky to be wired in with that question that comes to surface, and then all of a sudden move into a creative mode of what's the solution. This is just a problem. Let's solve it.
That's kind of foundational to being an entrepreneur, don't you find? I mean, if you don't have that capacity coming into it, then you're doing the wrong thing, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that, so I full disclosure, I've been a member of your gym for a long time, and maybe of late not quite an active as member as I should be, but old guy shoulder problems, whatever. But it's the community that you built, and I know that CrossFit's, like it or not, there's nothing quite like the community that CrossFit as a whole is built. And then you in particular at your gym have built and nurtured. So the fact that you did that from the outset, how is that paying dividends for you now? Like, how have you pivoted? Because I can't go in and slap on bumper plates and start doing lifts. What am I doing if I'm a member?
Yep. So I think the only reason that I could even turn and say to my membership, this is what we're doing, we've moved completely online, is because I have such a community. I have a community of such amazing people that they trust me. I have this opportunity to say, this is the problem, this is how we're going to do it, this is what we're bringing to the table for you. Are you in? Do you trust me? And the response has been unbelievably supportive. I'm in tears daily, reading messages and talking to people. The support has been unbelievable. So my coaching team as well, I said, hey, I've got some ideas. Who's in? Who's in with this? And then we sat down, I laid out what I thought, which is usually I always go to this like kind of complicated place, and then they help me refine it and streamline it. And then we've just been testing. So Monday after the morning classes, close the doors. Wednesday, we had a system in place. Thursday morning, we launched fully online. So what we're doing is we're holding online classrooms. A lot of places are moving to this. For me,
it's Saturday, just to clarify, because this is the
sorry. So for me, it was really important. What I said to my membership was, I've got you, we've got you, my team has you. Do you trust us? Stay all in, we've got this. And we've got online classrooms so that we can still give that real-time coaching. There's the accountability to showing up into a classroom. That's really important. And then there's
or not, because you're there with your community, right?
And because that's the other part, there's the community. So I got 2 different systems. Just one I was looking at moving at utilizing in June anyways, so this is great. It just forced me to learn it and launch it sooner. That gives us an internal, it's a whiteboard space. It's a very social, active place online. And then having that classroom where we're all on our devices, all in our own spaces, but I can still see how somebody's moving and what they're doing and still give the correctives. We shifted to that immediately, and I was open and honest with our people and said, this is what we're doing. I thank you guys for the opportunity to give us a chance to bring this to you, and we are just going to problem solve all the way through and keep giving you the excellence that we have to give. And the response is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I've followed a few people online through social media, through Instagram, and one of the people that I do follow is Kelly Starr, I believe is his name, and the mobility WOD guy, the supple leopard. Don't know him personally, obviously, but I follow his stuff and say, wow, man, I should really do that one of these days to help myself out. Never kind of get around to doing it, but anyway, but he's been talking about the nuts and the bolts. Let's do that now. So that you're sitting in your empty gym now. That's been dormant for 6 days. The first of them, it's now the 21st. So we're like 10 days away from rent. Yep. We're 10 days away. We're, however many that would be, 25 days away from payroll source deduction taxes that need to be remitted. Have you had a chance to speak to the landlord?
No, I haven't reached out to him yet. I've been so
scary, right?
Sorry?
Scary, right? Scares the shit out of you. Like scares the shit out of me anyway.
Totally. But I'm not, the reason I haven't is I've been so focused on getting the system rolling and making sure our people know this is where you're finding us. This is how you access it. I've been on the phone making personal calls. So I've been so into that. So what'll happen this coming week is I'll be addressing all the big scary numbers. I'm not panicking because my membership of people are not pulling.
You built. I want to call it what it is because I know you. The community that you built.
Yeah, these people are backing us. It's unbelievable, Dave. It's unbelievable. They're backing me, and they're saying, we're leaving our membership in. We believe in what you're doing. You're giving us content online. Next week we're rolling out even more content that we don't have before. We weren't giving them in here. We're just going to keep giving more and more and more, and they're staying committed. So we all have each other. This is what the coolest thing that's happened is we've almost all come closer. We've kind of compressed in, and everybody's looking at each other saying, what do you need? What
As
do
long
you
as you're 6 feet apart.
As long as you're 6 feet apart. Yeah, exactly.
Got
So with regards to that though, so that's why I'm not panicking about my payments, my lease payments, and the overhead. Right from before I even shut the doors, I said to the coaches, I've got 3 coaches that this is their main gig. I said to them, don't you worry, we will find a way. I've got you. I'm not going to just let you fall and say, oh, sorry, too bad. We've been smart as a business to financially been able to manage some stuff. So I'm not super stressed about the rent right now. My thing is, can I keep the people engaged? Can I keep them seeing the value so they stay with us? And then I can keep this place floating until we can open the doors again. But next week, yeah, I'm going to address the landlord and just see if he has a game plan. If it comes down to it, can I defer payments until we can open again? Spread those out. What are the options?
Well, it's interesting. Have you paid attention at all to what the Canadian government has come out and said? So from, because what we did, I did the opposite with our cleaner. I was away. The timing was lousy. It was Cindy's birthday. So, we went as a family to go visit her parents. And then this all hit. Came back and realized, the 2 of us discussed it and realized the best thing we could do for our staff was to lay them off.
Yeah.
The reason why is we're in the throes of renovations. We're shelling out money for front customer service renovations, for signage, for moving our equipment. It's thousands and thousands of dollars we're having to shell out. We are in the process of applying for a loan for those things. Not sure how much of it we're going to get, just the nature of the beast. Our plan always was to pay for it out of cash flow, bootstrap it, if we had to take 30 days or whatever. But we came back and our business was down. Our over-the-counter business was down about 80%, just like that. Wow. So I pulled the pin right away, and I called the bookkeeper and I said, let's get records of employment for our staff. The Canadian government has come out and said they will get employment insurance claims filed quickly to get money into the hands of the people that need it. And then they also came out with their small business help, which I found really inadequate, to say the least. If they're telling me that I can defer, they're going to give me 10% over and above my payroll to a certain maximum, but that's a credit against the payroll source deduction I have to pay for the next month. That's not money in my jeans now to pay my rent. It's not money in my jeans now to pay my hydro. So if, in fact, small business is the backbone of the economy, there's not a hell of a lot going on to help us. If you're an individual and you lose your job, you get EI, then that's not optimum, but it's something. But as a small business, unless your landlord is willing to play ball, I had the awkward conversation with my landlord, and I got to tell you, I was really impressed with their response. They wound up saying they're proactively engaging with the banks to find out what's going on, because the federal government has said they're going to support the banks, and the banks, there should be the trickle-down effect. So our landlord has said there's different options they're currently reviewing. It could be that we do that, defer the rent, tack on 3 months extra onto the end of the lease or something, not really sure. But the point being is I'm grateful that they're willing to play ball and see what we can get to, because as it stands right now, I'd be out, period, in 10 days.
Yeah, I'm lucky in that way that I could float us for a bit. I have personal finances that.
Now, when you say that, I was going to ask you about that. You brought it up. So, what's your business structure? Are you a corporation? Are you a partnership? What are you?
Yeah, just moved to corporation. Just
Now, how does that protect you personally? You're a director of the corporation. It's a loaded question. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if the corporation defaults, you as the small business owner are on the hook for all of it, right?
Yeah. So this is what I've got to dig into and get a whole bunch more information on, is what that looks like. Because it's so different from how I've been functioning for the past 12 years. So you know what else happened this week? The gym's 12th anniversary. And like this, I don't know, I'm going on a different track there. But so for 12 years, I was part of a partnership, very different liabilities and functioning. The gym, I am the gym, and the gym was me at that point. So the gym is a separate entity now. So there's a bit of distance there from my personal finances and the gym, but at the same time, I am tied completely to it, because the gym doesn't have any credit or anything extended unless I qualify for it, because now we're brand new as a new corporation. So that's the scary part too, is that I don't have this, divulging information here, but I don't have this big line of credit attached to the gym that I could lean into if I had to at this point. Because
I think that's a common theme for most small businesses. I know people that are significantly more successful than I am, and it's still them, signing the personal guarantee on the dotted line for whatever their business undertakes.
yeah, I don't know. My laptop just
Your laptop just died. Okay, that sucks.
Yep. Because this is entirely different.
It is entirely different. That's okay. Hey, you know what? All right, we'll do it. It's okay.
This is life right now.
Yeah, this is life. Okay, that's where we're going to start, because, we had a laptop crash, and it's all good. We're here again. So, but the thing, the point I wanted to get at with this initial podcast was how really challenging it is for small business owners. We are, by and large, left hanging on our own. I mean, there is no safety net. I mean, that's the government is doing some things, but I don't think they're doing enough. Mm-hmm. And I'm not normally a big government guy, but if they're mandating we've got to be shut down, then they got to do more to make sure that we keep the wheels moving. And I can't see how they can ask us to keep shut down for whether it's months on end, and not, as El Salvador is doing, I believe it's El Salvador, where they've paused all rent payments, they've paused all electrical payments, they've paused all phone payments for 3 months. And they said, let's just get through this. And
so who absorbs all the payment on that though, Dave? Because this is for me is my question. There's always somebody in the chain that then doesn't get paid. So how do you work that?
I guess. I mean, I don't know, without peeling back all the layers in the onion, because I haven't done that. I haven't done a real deep dive, to use two analogies in one sentence. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but the difference between that program or proposed program and what the Canadian program is offering is the feeling I'm getting now from the Canadian solution and also from the American solution is that the government is saying, stop business, stop commerce, be healthy.
Yep.
The landlords are left to their own devices as to whether or not they want to afford you enough room to wiggle. Go along with the ride. And then the entrepreneur, the small business owner that's paying the bricks and mortar lease and paying the staff is left holding the bag. They've got no ability to earn income. There's no way for you to open that gym again.
Yeah, I know. It's such a shit show, honestly. And I'm really curious to see if they'll keep coming, what the government will keep coming with. Trudeau's he's making addresses daily. I'm curious to see what they keep coming down the line with.
Well, what do you think? Let's end it on this. I'm going to ask you your thoughts on what do you think would be a good solution? Because I actually do have a relative that is a member of Parliament in Ottawa. So I'll be sending him an email saying, hey, check this out. This is what small business owners are saying. So what would you think might be a good entrepreneurial solution?
Oh, God.
What might help? deferring your rent for 3 months, saying, hey,
Oh,
you know what? Like no penalty, because I don't want to see the landlord. I personally don't want to see the landlord screwed. I think
absolutely.
they're way in deep with mortgages. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that they're able to stay afloat and not stress that. Then they don't have to stress us in turn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one thing that would be massively helpful. It is if they're from the landlord's perspective, if they can turn and then extend that to us and give us that break, that's one thing. But I mean, really, the other part of this is that when you have to close the doors for safety issue, and people can't continue to pay their employees because, like, you take a restaurant business, for example, even if they got a break on their leases, even if there was a break on the lease from the landlord, what are they paying the employees to do when they can't work because nobody is coming through the door? So it's such a difficult situation. And I think what I'm coming to is that there's so many different solutions that are required because we all have so many different business models.
Right? It's real complicated. My
It is
thought
so
with
complicated.
restaurants would be if any employee, like, because we're in the same boat, I've got no staff, so
Yeah.
and really unfortunate because my staff were really good for the first time in a long time. If they're able to be taken care of, so their rent, their food is taken care of, maybe not to the extent that I was paying them
Yep.
through the employment insurance system, and then my landlord says, you know what, we've got you, either whatever you can pay or we'll defer and it'll be for a 3-month thing and then we'll go from there. Because I'm hoping and I'm assuming that with all the brain power we've got and the planet working on this problem, that we'll come up with a solution sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like. Then the staff are helped out, the business is helped out, then everybody can just calm down.
Yeah, that I think you nail it right there. Is how do we get that? How do we get people to, because part of it is the fear of COVID-19, and then there's the fear of finances and security, food security. We see that, we already see it, food and toilet paper security.
Yeah.
But the financial security, housing security, all those things that money provides for us. So yeah, being able to support businesses, to support their employees, and also too, because to support your people so that they come back to work for you and they're not forced into going to other things. And that's why that was exactly the conversation that I had with my coaching crew, that they don't have jobs. The ones that don't have anything outside of here are so key, that my whole team is so key.
Yep.
That if I don't make the efforts to keep them above water, in their houses, paying their bills, if I don't make those efforts, I don't have a team. So even if I could open the door, I've got to rebuild. And as you know personally, the coaching team that I have, I call them my coaching team, but these humans make it. They're like, my business is, we bring excellence to the table because they're excellent coaches. So that's where, you know, my business model will maybe be different than somebody else's, that feels like, you know, it's not so much about the personality connection with somebody. I don't know. I'm not really giving you an answer, am I?
No, it's good. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I understand it. So on that note, I think we probably should wrap it up.
Yep.
Let if anybody that's watching, let them know when people are watching and listening, how can they get a hold of you? Because now you've got online programming. So why not grow your business through your online programming, right? Is it a possibility or no?
It is a possibility. I just put out a statement to my membership today that because I'm not doing a lot of public posting of I'm staying very quiet on our main social media pages. Everything is very internal right now. And I said to my membership, the reason I'm doing that is because my coaching team and I are 100% focused on our membership. I'm not looking to sell. I'm not trying to sell Taranis right now. I'm trying to put all of our energy into our membership. That being said, if somebody wants to jump into what we're doing, yeah, you can reach me, Vanessa at TaranisAthletics.com. We're our website, TaranisAthletics.com. We're on social media, CF Taranis on Instagram, the Facebook. We're kind of all over. So if somebody wants to reach out, yeah, they can.
Thanks, Vanessa. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dave.
Keep in
This is
touch.
great conversation. Keep having them.
I will. Take care.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.